by Slave.
Flex, diamonds on my neck and my wrist drip wet. You know how I be, how I do when I flex. You know what I rap, going hard for the set. You know how I be, how I do it when I flex. Diamonds on my neck and my wrist drip wet. You know how I be, how I do it when I flex. You know what I rap, going hard for the set. You know how I be, how I do it when I flex. You can see the difference, look at me and look at you. Tryna make a name for yourself, I be like, who? Rims on the coupe, same color as my shoes.
Yo. Call me Hoops.
Family. Today a big day. It's a great day. It's a beautiful day. It's a sunny day. Abdul, we're gonna let you tell them what's going on today.
Hey man,
you can probably already tell by the title.
Once you see the jersey, you pretty much know what's about to go down, man.
I don't think much else is needed to be said, honestly, after seeing that jersey.
I got the invite this week from brother Mahmoud Abdul Rauf, former NBA player. NBA legend.
Oh.
So he hit me up, man. He said, let's get a training session. And I said, you already know I'm down, brother. He said he's in New York. I said, yeah, I'll come through. Just let me know when and where. So,
everybody had to pull up for this one.
Got the boys with us.
I can't stop smiling, man.
I mean,
you ever met him before?
Nah, I never met him before,
shit,
man.
That's you,
bro. They say he the Steph Curry before the Steph Curry, man.
And we can't forget, he's also Kaepernick before Kaepernick.
I miss him so much, bro. I ain't seen him. When's the last time we seen him?
And
we saw him at a Big 3 game.
That was but I mean, like, that last training we did was last year in July, I think, in Atlanta. So this year he's in New York City. Stay tuned. We're gonna tune in with y'all once we check in.
About to grab some coffee and get on the way. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
I thought I told you that I ain't running away though. Still stacking that queso, got the juice by the caseload. All about my peso since I was about a day, yo. You can fact check that, you know that I ain't play young. Pirellis know my presence felt when I pull up to the scene. Something mean, something clean, color green, on the jeans, blue bands. That's my brody, he be hitting the blunt. He be dapping me up, say get whatever you want, I dreamt about it, then I bought it to life. Said I can't stand with you niggas on the corner for life. It's the Mozzie or the Mazda, let you know it's always options. Handle every single problem, so fuck being.
My name is Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. I was born in Gulfport, Mississippi. I was fortunate to come out of high school, the '1 guard in the nation. Went to LSU, first year, averaged about 30.2 points a game, second year, 28. Was drafted, first round, third pick. Enjoyed a nice career in the NBA.
Woke up one day and I said, I'm just gonna start going to play. I don't know where this is gonna end up, but I'm gonna put everything I got into this. And as a 9-year-old, it's frightening and it's scary because you're saying to yourself, I didn't know that statistically I had a better chance of becoming a doctor or a lawyer than becoming an NBA basketball player. It was harder to be an NBA basketball player, statistically, than being a doctor or lawyer. But that's all I felt I could do, because I didn't have those other examples. I didn't have that in my community. So when I look on the television, I see these athletes, and I see myself, being a young man having some type of athleticism. I said, well, hey, I might have a chance at this. So I put all my marbles in that one basket. So I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, every single morning, and it would still be dark outside. And it didn't matter to me, and I'm not exaggerating to you, it didn't matter to me if it was raining, thundering, and lightning. It didn't matter if it was 100 degrees. It didn't matter if it was freezing. And I didn't have the big jackets, the warm-up suits. When it was freezing, I had shorts on and I had a t-shirt on. And there were times I would go on that court and it's cold. I'm dribbling to the basketball court and I'm shivering. But your body warms up after a while. And you start playing. But after it's over, you're sweating. And that sweat gets cold. And you're walking home and you're shivering. And you get home and I didn't know then that I had frostbitten hands, 9 years old. There were times I thought I was going to die on the basketball court because I put so much into it. I felt that if I don't make it in basketball, my life is over. And that's sad, but yet it's a blessing because I didn't leave myself with a B or C option. A was the only option I had, and I had to give it everything I had to make it. And so every day I woke up, I had this vision that I wanted to be the best. I had to make it if I was going to be able to take care of my family, my mother, my brother. If I was going to be able to be in to assist me in being in a position someday to be able to take care of others, because this was one of the goals. So every day, and there were times I would come home and my hands. And I'm dramatizing it for you so you can visualize. And I'm coming home and I'm shaking and I'm trying to turn on the faucet. And I'm turning on the faucet. And I didn't know then you're not supposed to put hot water on cold hands when they're freezing like that. And my hands would feel like needles when that hot water hit was going through them. And I would thaw out just enough. Sit at home for a minute. I would, as they call, meditate. I would pray. I would close my curtains. I would think about what I wanted. And I did that a lot as a child. I didn't know why I was doing it. But when I look back, I said it was only Allah that instilled that in me at that early age. They call it mental imagery and meditation and all of that stuff now. I was praying. As we say, dhikr, I was remembering Allah. I was doing all of that. And as I thought myself out, right up, I'm back on the court again. Sometimes with only syrup sandwiches, sugar water as my meal. You know, because we didn't have a lot to eat. And there were times working on that court where literally I thought I was going to die in the heat because I wanted it that bad. It was like there's no other way out from this. It could be, I could be putting on my shoes and I could literally hear the thunder. I mean loud, rain coming down heavy. And I'm putting on my shoes, literally. You'd think the sun was shining. I'm oblivious. The weather didn't matter to me anymore. It's like, man, I gotta make it. In my mind, like, nobody's training like this. Who's gonna be out here doing this? And I always tried to put myself in a position to where I challenged myself with my environment. I would put heavy clothes on when I got older, like junior high and high school. Wool suits and combat boots, and I'm running in the middle of the sand. It's 100 degrees outside. And the heat is just taking my breath. And I'm about to faint, but I don't want to stop, because if I stop, if I slow down, that's a weakness. And I can't have that weakness. And so this is something that I continue to do day in and day out. And what's amazing about this is that all of those challenges, even in that area, and mind you, I have Tourette syndrome. I don't know what it is that I have. Before I even leave the house, it may take me an hour just to get out the house. Because why? I may put my socks on that don't feel right, I take them off. Put them on, I take them off. Because everything had to feel perfect. Because my mind and my mind is sending mixed messages to my muscles. And so it might take me an hour just to get out of the house. There's an old commercial that used to come on years ago. A lot of the old may remember about the Marines. We do more at 4 a.m. in the morning than you do all day. That was me. Before I left the house, I was already half exhausted, just trying to put on my clothes, open the door, shut the door just to get out. But I realized something, that the more I began to train, the more I began to push myself by Allah, Allah began to open doors. People used to tell me, oh, you'll never make it. You're undersized, you're too short. Not too many people has ever made it out of Gulfport, Mississippi, or Mississippi, period, at that time. And I used that, though, as fuel to drive me. Every time I would hear that. And the more I began to train, I always used to seek out older people, because I felt that older people, stronger people, was going to push me more. They were going to make me better. And the more I did that, Allah began to open doors for me, to the point where I was in elementary school, and we had a game where it was like 43 to 46, and I had 42 of our 43 points. One game was like 36, we lost. One game was 36 to 42, I had all 36. So word began to circle, like, who is this little boy? And it just kept on pushing me to where I ended up going to junior high. I'm going to run through this real quick. I'm trying to make a point. I'm going through junior high school. And I started all 3 years for junior high school as a 7th grader. I go to high school. Before I touched the high school basketball floor, they listed me as the top player all-state in high school. We go to a camp in New Jersey, Princeton, New Jersey. I'm this I've been doing this all of these years, waking up early, putting my body through abuse day in and day out. Days I didn't even want to go on the basketball court because I was tired. I was exhausted, and I knew what Tourette syndrome. Tourette syndrome is like another opponent for me. It's like Mahmoud, he goes out, he practices for an hour and a half. When the practice is over, you think it's time to go. You're exhausted, you're working hard, you can't hardly breathe. Tourette's pulls you out. Where you going? You're not going anywhere. My turn now. You got to do what I want you to do. Now, you got a kid that's 9 years old, 10 years, exhausted. But here it is now. Tourette is saying you have to, in this workout, while you're tired, 10 shots, all of them have to go all net. They can't hit no part of the rim. You could be on number 9. You can make number 10. But number 10 hits the rim, you got to go back to 0. No, you can't take the shot over. It's got to be 10 in a row, full speed, exhausted, straight net. That may take me another hour and a half just to finish 10 shots. So I'm doing this day in and day out. It all leads up to this point, and I'm doing the same moves every day. My mind is the greatest tool that I have because, as psychology says, so as you think and so shall it be, right? And I would just imagine things, and I used to imagine this invisible player. Wherever I went, he was this close to the ball. When I shot it, when I dribbled it, and I was working on my quickness because in my elementary thinking, I'm saying, well, if I can beat my imagination, if I can escape my imagination, no human being can stay with me like my imagination can, right? And this is what began to help my quick release, my speed. And I was just pushing myself. I just wanted to be the best. I wanted to be able to take care of my family. And one day,
Bro, I'm dead right now. We're like not even halfway done.
You're getting started.
Killing us. Intense workout.
I was invited to go to this camp, Princeton, New Jersey. That particular year, Michael Jordan happened to be there. And this is like a dream come true. I didn't know that this was going to happen. He's talking to a group of us like I'm talking to you, but we're in the stands. And out of all the people in there, he looks at me. He says, come on out, young fella. And I came out to the top of the key. And I remember like yesterday, I'm at the left-hand corner of the top of the key. And Jordan is standing right there and he hands me the ball. He says, I want you to come, I want you to attack me and try to score me best you can with everything you've got. It's okay. And I remember getting the ball and I gave him a quick jab and I took off left. And when I took off left, I took off with everything I had. And I could hear him that quick rushing, and he was coming at me full speed, and I could see him as I was going up for the shot. He's 6'5", 6'6". If I went straight up, he would have had it. So I extended my arm out, running through the layup, and I could see his hand. I took something off of it, and I scored on it. Went through the net, came back down. I'm getting ready to go. He said, come on back, let's do that again. So I'm okay, and I was excited. Because you're talking about a 10th grader going to the 11th grade, playing against one of the best that ever played it. You're talking about a little boy that came from Gulfport, Mississippi, with and I'm not, in any way am I trying to say that I have a monopoly on suffering, that I've gone through the worst that anybody has gone through. I'm not naive. I know everybody has their struggles. Some people have gone through way worse than I have. But I think everybody has a story, and every story has its significance and inspires in its own way. And he called me back. I got the ball, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, I'm excited. The crowd was going crazy. But I didn't let it show, because you play the game long enough, you know, when you score on somebody, even though you think you did something great, you gotta come out of it like you do it all the time. And you gotta act like it's normal. So when I walked off, I'm walking off like you. Not cocky, but this is what I do all the time. I get it again, and